Book 1, Chapter 6. A Scene in Purgatory. We were at a crossroads in the Purgatory section of Hades. The junction formed a pattern like the Chinese character Kome. In the center of the crossroads stood one of the official buildings of the spiritual world, from which a large number of fearfully expected sentries emerged. They had the bodies of men, but their heads were either those of a cow or those of a horse. They were nude except for a garment made of animal skins or a loincloth from the hides of the fiercer beasts. Each sentinel was equipped with something such as a sharp-toothed rake, a hand-spear, saw, axe, gun, or a pair of long tongs. My spirit guide led me up to the building where a man with the face of a devil and looking like a sub-foreman welcomed us. Brandishing a long sword as if it were a walking stick, he addressed my spirit guide. "Sorry for the trouble it has taken you to get here. May I ask your purpose in coming to the shadowy kingdom?" I was taken aback to hear his exceptionally courteous greeting, so in contrast with his terrifying face. I stood silent, listening to their conversational exchange. My spirit guide returned his bow and said, "I am the guide for a very important personage who is undergoing the rigors of ascetic discipline by divine order. In other words, the spirit of this person has a mission in the three worlds: the divine world, the material world, and the kingdom of the shades. First of all, we have come here as a part of his ascetic discipline, but at the same time for making an on-the-spot inspection of the realm of the shades. This man's spirit has been kept hidden on Mount Takakuma in the province of Tajima. He is the spirit of Mizu. Please convey this message to the great king of this realm." These words he spoke with special emphasis. The sub-foreman made a light bow and dashed into the building. We waited for a while. There was great commotion inside, and I wondered what in the world was going on. Turning to my spirit guide, I asked, "What's all that noise?" "They are making preparations to receive someone who is undergoing ascetic discipline here in the realm of the shades," he answered. At this, I became suspicious and asked, "Who is this ascetic?" "It is none other than thyself. When a man who possesses a mortal body comes to the realm of the shades, it is a rule that the appearance of the office should be rearranged temporarily. Today is a very special case. The divine world gave them no previous warning, so it does look as if they are rather upset here in the great hall of the shadowy kingdom." After a while, the door that separated us from the inside of the building flew open, and the sub-foreman came out, leading several sentries whose eyes flashed us a greeting. They positioned themselves before and behind us, and we entered within. On a broad landing at the top of a staircase, a white-haired, strange-looking old divine was seated at his desk. He possessed an unusually beautiful countenance and wore an air of immense dignity and tenderness. My spiritual guide made a low bow, took a seat on the right side of the ancient worthy, and appeared to be making some sort of report. Surveying the scene, I noticed a line of divine judges, like glittering stars, arrayed on the lower landing. The old divine rested upon me, a look filled with mercy and light, and smiling said, "O thou, the man who is undergoing the rigors of ascetic discipline, we are indeed impressed with the trouble it has cost you to travel so far. Please sit down here," and he indicated a seat to his left for me. I made a profound obeisance, and he honored me with an equally low bow. He continued, "I was commissioned by the God of the heavens to be supervisor of the lower kingdom and the kingdom of the depth. I have been the head of this department for more than 3,000 years and have reached the end of the cycle according to the will of heaven. My duty in this office will be over in a year, and I will go on to take part in the divine work of the universe in both the spiritual and material worlds, in close cooperation with you. Since I have been superintending the shadowy kingdom for so many years, there is no need for me to go about investigating it further. For you, however, since it is the first time to visit these realms, there is indeed a need to examine both your own world and this one. Without doing so, you could hardly become a man of outstanding mercy and dignity, the savior of the three worlds. Please investigate the lower kingdom and the kingdom of the depth before going back to your own world. Meanwhile, I'll report it to your guardian deity." With that, he blew on the stone flute of heaven. Immediately, a divine figure, arrayed in white robes, descended on a cloud and appeared before the three of us. In a courteous manner, he whispered something to the judge. After that, he expressed his gratitude to the divine entities of the shadowy kingdom lined up to receive him. Next, he offered his thanks to my spirit guide for services in behalf of his charge. Then he turned to me and handed me a book, as he blew his divine breath across the top of my head. I had at once a feeling of warmth come over me, centering in my abdominal region, and it seemed to me that my spirit attained to a power immeasurable.